What's up guys, it's me Sakai King, back with another Random Stories video. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to it. Story 1. I was grabbing lunch at this fast food place the other day, just minding my own business, when it happened. A woman at the counter was raising her voice, like full-on yelling, about how they only gave her one cookie when she clearly ordered two. The poor teenage cashier was frantically apologizing and offered to get her another one, but this lady was not having it. "You guys should be on point. You can't even do your job," she bellowed, as if missing a cookie was some heinous crime against humanity. The whole restaurant went silent. I swear, you could hear the fries sizzling in the back. I felt bad for her husband, who was standing behind her with this mortified look on his face, like he wanted to crawl into the nearest trash bin and hide. He kept trying to pull her aside, mumbling, "Honey, it's just a cookie. They're fixing it." But nope, Karen was on a mission. She even threatened to call the police. Over. A cookie. The manager finally stepped in with another cookie, all smiles and apologies, handing it to her like it was a peace offering to a warlord. And you know what she did? She snatched the cookie, gave them one last dramatic glare, and stormed out, muttering about incompetence. The kicker? She walked out with both cookies and didn't even say thank you. Her husband just shook his head and trudged after her. The rest of us exchanged these awkward glances like, did we just witness that? Honestly, it was the most bizarre thing I've seen in a while. I mean, who knew cookies could cause such chaos? Story 2. You won't believe what I witnessed at the fast food joint yesterday. I had just sat down with my food when I heard this ear-splitting yell from the counter. I looked over, and there's this woman, probably in her mid-30s, absolutely losing it because her sandwich had too much mayo on it. And I'm not talking a stern complaint. She was screaming. "You call this a sandwich?" she shrieked, her face turning a shade of red that matched the ketchup packets on the counter. I swear, you could see veins popping out of her neck like she was about to blow a gasket. The worker behind the counter, a young guy who couldn't have been more than 18, just stood there frozen, holding a replacement sandwich and stammering apologies. But apparently, an apology wasn't enough for Her Royal Highness. She kept yelling about how this was the worst service ever and how nobody in this place knows what they're doing. Then, before anyone could stop her, she launched the mayo-filled sandwich right at the poor worker. It hit him square in the chest and splattered everywhere. The room collectively gasped, half in shock, half in disbelief that someone would actually throw food like that. What really got me, though, were her kids. They were standing a few feet behind her, and they looked so unfazed, like this was just another Tuesday for them. One of them was even playing on his phone like he didn't have a care in the world. I felt bad for them. They clearly knew the drill. The manager came out and firmly told her to leave, but not before she yelled something about corporate hearing about this and stormed out with her kids in tow. As she pushed the door open, one of them sighed and muttered, "Not again, Mom." It was honestly surreal. I just sat there trying to process the fact that I had just watched a grown woman weaponize a sandwich. Who gets that mad over mayo? Story 3. You wouldn't believe the show I saw at the fast food joint last night. I was just waiting for my order when this couple came in, and everything seemed normal. At first, they ordered their food, and the guy, who looked super chill, was trying to decide what drink he wanted. He says, I'll just go with Sprite." And that's when the world flipped upside down. The woman with him suddenly snapped, "Sprite? Are you kidding me right now?" Her voice was so loud I flinched. At first, I thought she was joking, but no, she was dead serious. She started going off on him like he had just committed some unforgivable crime. "Every time it's Sprite. You're so predictable. Why don't you try something new for once in your life?" she yelled, throwing her hands in the air. The poor guy looked like a deer in headlights, stammering, "I just like Sprite." But that wasn't enough for her. She kept going, her voice getting louder with every word. "This is exactly why you're so boring, Kevin. You never take risks. You never do anything exciting." By now, everyone in the place was staring, and the workers behind the counter were trying so hard not to laugh. Kevin looked like he wanted to meld into the floor. He awkwardly said, "Okay, fine, I'll get Coke," but she just rolled her eyes and snapped, "Forget it. You've ruined it now." The whole time I was standing there in disbelief. I mean, who gets that mad over someone ordering Sprite? Kevin ended up mumbling something like, "I'll wait outside," and walked out with his head down, leaving her to finish the order. She turned back to the counter like nothing happened, placed her order, and then sat down like she hadn't just humiliated the guy in front of a full restaurant. As I grabbed my food and left, I saw Kevin sitting on the curb outside, staring at his phone like he was rethinking his entire life. Honestly, I hope he rethinks that relationship too. Story 4. You won't believe what happened while I was waiting in line at the fast food place yesterday. Out of nowhere, this woman storms into the store, clutching a chicken sandwich like it personally offended her. She marches straight up to the counter, waving it around like it's evidence in a trial. I didn't want this sandwich. I wanted my sandwich crispy. Does this look crispy to you? She screams, her voice echoing through the place. Everyone froze. The guy at the register blinked a few times, clearly trying to process the situation. Finally, he says, ma'am, I don't remember you ordering here." The look on her face was priceless. She stops mid-rant, sandwich still in hand, and slowly looks around the restaurant like she's just realized she walked onto the wrong stage during a play. You could practically see the gears turning in her head as she muttered, "Oh, wrong store." And just like that, she spun on her heel and walked out like nothing had happened. No apology, no explanation, just gone. The whole place burst out laughing as soon as the door closed behind her. Even the workers couldn't hold it in. One of them shook their head and said, "Man, it's not even Tuesday." Honestly, it was the best thing that happened all day. I just hope she found the right store to yell at, or maybe I don't. Story 5. So, I was sitting in a fast food place the other day, minding my own business, when this woman burst through the door like she was on a mission. She was wearing these huge sunglasses and had this frantic energy, clutching a paper bag from the restaurant. She marched right up to the counter, slammed the bag down, and shouted, "This is not what I ordered. I asked for a grilled chicken sandwich, and you gave me this greasy, fried mess. Do you think I don't care about my health?" The worker behind the counter looked terrified, flipping through receipts like their life depended on it. Meanwhile, the woman kept going. "I'm trying to eat clean. How am I supposed to trust you people with my food when you can't even follow basic instructions? I demand you fix this now." Everyone in the place was staring at this point. The manager came out, all polite, and said, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry about the mix-up. Let me get you a fresh grilled chicken sandwich right away." She huffed and said, "You better, and don't take all day. I have places to be." While we were all sitting there watching, the manager opened the bag to confirm the order, and then stopped. His face went blank. He slowly turned to her and said, "Ma'am, this bag is from Burger King." The entire place erupted in laughter. Even the employees couldn't hold it in. The woman's face turned beet red, and she looked down at the bag like it had betrayed her. Then, without saying a word, she snatched the bag back, turned around, and power walked out of there. The best part? Someone at the back of the restaurant shouted, "Have it your way," as the door closed behind her. It was the funniest thing I've seen in weeks. Story 6. I was working the register during the dinner rush when this woman stomped in like she was about to declare war. She had that Karen energy written all over her. Oversized purse, phone in hand, and an expression that screamed, "I'm about to ruin someone's day." She came up to me, waving her receipt in my face, and said, "I specifically asked for extra pickles on my burger. Does this look like extra pickles to you?" She held up the burger like it was Exhibit A in a courtroom drama. Now, I was about to apologize and fix the mistake. Easy enough, right? But before I could say anything, she cut me off. "This is unacceptable. I come here all the time, and it's always wrong. You people can't do anything right." Our manager, Joe, had been quietly watching from the back, but the second she started yelling, he came over. Joe's this no-nonsense guy. Mid-40s, been in the business way too long to put up with anyone's nonsense. "Ma'am, what's the problem here?" Joe asked, already looking unimpressed. She turned to him and started her rant all over again about the pickles. Joe nodded along for a moment, then held up a hand and said, "All right, let me get this straight. You're upset over pickles?" "Yes," she snapped. Joe raised an eyebrow and said, "Okay, first of all, it's not brain surgery to just ask for more pickles. Second, if we mess up all the time, why do you keep coming back here? Do you enjoy being mad?" The whole restaurant went dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. She looked completely stunned. like no one had ever dared to talk back to her before. Then she stammered, I just want my order right. Joe shrugged and said, fine, we'll fix it. But next time, how about you don't scream at my employees over vegetables? I was trying so hard not to laugh as Joe turned to me and said, get her another burger with as many pickles as we've got back there. The woman huffed and crossed her arms, but didn't say another word. When I handed her the new burger, she snatched it and stormed out. Joe just muttered, pickle drama, and walked back to the kitchen. Honestly, I kind of wish every manager handled things like Joe. I hope you guys enjoyed these random Karen stories. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.